Good evening, YouTube friends
Hello out there.
and followers. We hope you are doing great. So, on tonight, our video was brought to you by our children.
Yes, it was.
This was their pig, this was not ours. So, back in the day when we were first in love. So, compliments to our jerseys. So shout out to all my Bennett Bells out there.
And my A&T Aggies out there, Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. Yep. Right. Bennett Bells. It's all about the bells.
It's all about those Aggies.
Okay. So blue and gold, we go together like hand in hand. Mm-hmm. So the children voted tonight and they said they wanted us to talk about what did they want?
How did we first meet?
How did we first meet? And what was that one that we didn't want to talk about the expectations?
I don't know. What was
it? It was, did we meet each other's expectations? Like, so Amani was like, so there's a list that you have of what you're looking for in your mate. So did Daddy check off everything on your list? Daddy, did Mommy check off everything on your list? Can you believe these kids are asking me these questions? Like, what do they know about the expectations list?
I know.
We need to have a talk tonight. We need to have them up here on this live YouTube video. But that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But we changed it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about how we first met. We may talk about our first impressions of each other.
And then did we meet each other's expectations?
And we might even talk about our first couple of dates.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going down memory lane, followers. So with that being said, why don't you think about when you were first courting your spouse?
Yeah.
And tell us all about it in the comments. And if you have any questions, since we're going live, you can ask them and we might answer them. Just so you know, we're also Facebook Live in it for those. But please go to the Tie and Jam YouTube channel and check us out. Subscribe, like, share. What did we just say?
Subscribe, like, share. Yep.
You heard it from the man. So
hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. So I think I'll go first, right? I'll go first. So how did we first meet? How did I first meet you or notice you?
This is his version.
So my version of the story, our versions may differ a little bit, but my version is the correct version. Why? Because we were at A&T. And of course, I have the A&T made jersey on, so my version is the right story because she was going to my school, or she was taking a class. So we were in a French class at A&T, the best school in the land. Don't forget it, the best school in the land. So if you got kids, A&T is the school for them, right?
If you have young girls who you want to remain to be lovely ladies and know how to carry themselves and be like the Jamela Petways and the Michelle Obamas of the world. Okay. You don't send them to A&T, you send them to Bennett College for Women.
Well, A&T has our guys as well, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. What's his name?
Exactly. Did you marry an Aggie or did you marry a Bell?
I did not marry an Aggie.
Exactly. That's my point.
But let me get back to my story.
Yes.
The way we met, we were in French class. And I had somebody across the room staring at me just like the person is staring at me right now. Just like this.
Just like
that. And for some reason, they kept peeping around the person in front of them and looking at me. I was like, what is going on? Why is that person staring at me all of a sudden every day? Like for the whole class time that we were in French class. I think classes are like 8 weeks long or something like that for the entire 8 weeks.
It's longer than that.
Something, whatever it was, 8 weeks, 10 weeks.
It
doesn't matter.
Like 16.
16, it doesn't matter. But somebody was peeping around people's heads and looking at me and staring at me. I was like, what is going on?
So for the whole time.
Why is this female keep staring at me all day? And not all day, but the whole class period.
Okay, so what else happened? Please tell me. So I just stared at you, and then voila, we got married.
And so, pretty much. But our roommate, come to find out, our roommates, my roommate and her roommate were dating. And we did not know that. We did not know that.
That part is true.
We did not know that at the time. And so she would go back to her roommate and say, hey, it was this good-looking guy sitting across the classroom from me, and I got to get to know him or something like that, you know. And he's just so handsome or so good looking, and so
full of himself.
Long story short, one thing came to another, and we met. We started, you know, courting and dating and liking each other, and I'm not gonna go into the Kings Dominion trip, but long story short, we started dating, and
really. So can I tell my story?
Yeah, you can tell your side.
Okay, so I grudgingly had to go to A&T to take my French class. Okay,
the best school right here.
The best school,
yeah.
Bennett College for Women. And so I had taken French 1, and so this was French 2, and there was a new set of people in the class. I didn't have some of the same classmates that I had the first time. And so in the school, you literally had, in this classroom, you had seats. My seat was here, and it was facing him, and then the other seats were facing each other. So it was like, that's how the professor had it set up.
That's correct. That's correct.
So
where were you sitting at, though?
I was sitting right here.
Behind or in front?
I was on the second or third row.
Exactly. Okay. So it's lining up with what I said, right?
Okay, can I finish?
Okay.
You too. And he was sitting across from me. His seats were facing me, okay? So if I'm looking, I have no choice but to look that way. And how would he know that I was staring at him if he was not staring at me?
Hey, Aaron and Michael Tyler.
Don't change the subject. So I wasn't staring at him. He was staring at me. And when I would look up, then I would see these eyes. So that's how it happened. Now, about going back to my dorm. So I would go to my dorm and I would be like, hey, Tisa, shout out to Tisa Frederick. There's these 3 guys. I didn't just say 1, I said 3, okay? It was not all about him because it was him and 2 of his friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there's 3 guys.
But I stood out, i.e. we're together, right?
Did I interrupt his story? There was 3 guys, okay? And I was telling her about these guys and telling Tisa about these guys. And I was like, there's one who's nice looking, is something about his eyes. That's all I said. He's really on it tonight. There was something about his eyes that I liked. And so in French class, I made up this whole story. That semester, we had to come up with a story, an event or something. You had to read out loud in French. So mine was about getting married and being engaged on a cruise ship.
I can't
and he thought I was really engaged because that's how you handle stuff like that. So unbeknown to us, my best friend and roommate was dating his roommate. Mm-hmm. And it all came out as they kept questioning, and it came out. And so one day we actually met because Tisa and Dwayne made it happen.
Right.
And then he looked me in my eyes and he said, I have never seen someone as beautiful as you.
What? Okay. Maybe I need to come back to my side of the story.
And so then he says, he starts putting these mesmerizing eyes on. So that made me feel like Dwayne must have told him how I felt.
Okay.
And he was like see how he's doing his eyes now? Okay. He was doing something like that.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm not going to bother your side of the story.
Would you like for me to take you on a stroll to the Greensboro Arboretum And I'm like, ooh, what is that? This sounds interesting. And so we went to the Arboretum for our first date.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. That
And
is
then
true.
he leaned in and kissed me.
That's true.
Did I try to kiss you?
That's true too. That's true too.
Okay,
That's true too.
just making sure.
But the Arboretum was a place that was full with flowers and paths that you can walk down. It was kind of a romantic place, so I thought it would be pleasing to go there with her. So
To kiss me.
No, that wasn't in the plan.
So it was a setup.
That was just a date.
You guys heard him say this was a romantic place.
I don't know. I can't remember if we went out to eat first or we just went there.
I'm not sure what
I
we
can't
did.
remember. I probably went. We probably went to somewhere to eat, and then I took her there.
And then there was a road trip to Kings Dominion. We went to Black College Weekend that they have every year at Kings Dominion. And then I think he was hooked for real. I mean, he was hooked the first time, but he was really hooked at that point.
You were hooked as well. So
Yeah.
so we're together.
What was your first impression of me?
My first impression of you was that you were beautiful. I can't admit that. You were
Told you.
beautiful, just like you are today.
He was
Nothing,
starstruck.
nothing has changed, but time and kids. But you're still beautiful. You were loving. You were caring. I noticed that you always had my back. Whatever.
That was your first impression?
Yeah.
I had your back from the
Well, over time.
Over
So
time.
that wasn't first impression.
He can't help but to jump when he thinks about me.
Yeah, but you were loving and you were caring and you were beautiful. Those were my first impressions of you.
My first
And
impression.
you could talk. You could
I
talk.
can talk.
Yes.
My first impression was like, oh my, who is that fine yellow thing?
I did not have on this yellow shirt.
I wasn't talking about the shirt.
No.
We bought these shirts when we lived overseas. I was like, who is that fine yellow thing with those mesmerizing eyes?
Carry on.
It's
I'm
like-
not gonna bother you.
It's like bedroom eyes.
So carry on. I'm
That was my first impression. I mean,
That was it.
yeah, I mean,
This is
my first impression when I first saw you. Now,
Mesmerizing eyes.
I mean, if y'all want me to be honest, I didn't want to go there. I was trying to keep it like, the nice way. Then when he kissed me at the Arboretum, it was like, you want to show him?
No.
Do y'all see? He doesn't want to do it. It was like really love at first sight. Oh, hey, Amani. Our daughter's watching our live
Why are
stream.
you watching us on Facebook, Amani?
Our daughter is watching it, the one who has us talking about this stuff. So let's talk about our expectations.
So how did you meet my expectations?
No.
Or did I meet your expectations?
My list was long.
So let me go first.
Why can't I go first?
Since your list is long, I'll go first.
He'll go first.
I think you did meet my expectations. Why?
All of
Because
them?
I wanted someone smart, which of course everybody knows that you're way smarter than I am.
Mm.
I think you have like a PhD level mind, and it's just
He
awesome.
wants something.
No, I do not want anything. You met my expectations because you are a helper. Whatever I need, you're always helping me and others as well. You're a great cook.
But you didn't know that then.
This
but
place
I guess,
back here, I don't belong in there. That's all her. The kitchen back there, that's all her. So I wanted someone that can cook very well, and you have exceeded my expectations.
Mm.
And then I wanted to, as far as marriage, because I wasn't thinking about this previously to marriage, but I wanted an excellent worship experience. People who know us know what worship means. So I'm not going to go into it, but just use your imagination. An excellent worship experience.
Seriously? Do you see what I put up with? So, did he meet all my expectations? No. Did I get cold feet? Yes.
You did. You did. You
I
did.
did. And he probably did too. He just doesn't
You
want to.
did.
He's trying to keep this as his holier than thou
No.
video. So my list was like 50 items long, and he'll probably tell you that now, that my expectations are over the top. That's his favorite thing to tell me just about once a week. Or when we have an argument, he says, your expectations it's just too much. That's what he says. It's just too much. But clearly it's not too much if he's still married to me 17 years later.
I love it.
So it was things like I wanted an outgoing. One of the things is I wanted an outgoing guy. Well, Tavon's not outgoing to that level. He's not at the level of outgoing as me. However, I see the need for both of us not to be outgoing. It would just not work. Our house would be a revolving door more than it already is. So that was one thing. He wasn't outgoing. So in my 21-year-old mind, they had to be outgoing, the center of the attention, the person that the party spotlight is on. So that was one thing. Another thing, most of it has to just do with the outgoing part. He talked more when we dated. He was trying to lure me in. He was romantic, so that was nice. He would write me poems. And one of the things that later I discovered is that he could sing. And that's what he's supposed to be doing to keep us married. But he don't be doing what he's supposed to do. Like, he talks about how I cook and all this stuff. I asked for one thing. You know how the Bible says, one thing I've acquired of the Lord is to seek his face. One thing that I require is for him to sing to me.
I sing to you every Sunday.
No, you singing to the Lord. I need you to sing to me.
I sing
at the house.
Both ways.
No, on a weekly basis. This is what I'm talking about.
I sing unto the Lord, but I also, my voice, you should be happy that you hear my voice.
I should be happy that I hear.
Hey, Ashley Bradshaw.
I hear his voice. But I want him to sing to me. So I don't know if you guys remember that other video, but he was talking about how he doesn't like that I make him match with me. Guess who idea this was?
It was, because I wanted to tell my side of the story with my A&T jersey on. By the way, again, if you have college-bound kids, think about A&T, best college in the land.
So, whatever you say. So, thinking about marriage, like you're courting and you're dating. So, what made us like? So, what sealed the deal, or what made you ask me, or like people out there wondering, okay, is this the one for me? Even when you're gonna have doubts and questions. So, what made you so confident?
I think for me, I clearly heard from the Lord, the voice of the Lord say, hey, this is my wife. So that made me more confident in asking you to marry me. So that his voice, the Lord clearly told me that you were the one that I were to marry. So
how did his voice sound? Was it like, Tavon, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing?
I don't remember. But 17 going on 18 years later, so we're doing something right.
So for me, it was just his confidence, like, oh, I know what I heard the Lord say, and you are my wife. He did everything right, as in going and talking to my mom and my stepdad. And we actually got engaged on my mom and my aunt's birthday. Like, I thought we were going to a birthday party for my mom and my aunt at a restaurant. Do you remember that restaurant?
It was
he doesn't remember.
It was some mosquito and crabs.
See?
Something. It was something like that.
There's no such thing as mosquito and crab.
It was something like that. It was some country place
Stop it.
in Moncks Corner, South Carolina.
It was not.
But it was good.
It was
good.
Kerry Hilliard's in
Kerry
Charleston,
Hilliard.
South Carolina.
Yep.
He's tripping.
It
He's
was-
trying to joke on Monk's Corner.
Kerry Hilliard's. Whatever that is.
So yeah. So him doing that way. Now we're not naive. Like we were young,
Mm-hmm.
22 young. And so there was a lot of hills and valleys.
Yeah. I go back to when I asked you to marry you in front of all those people, because we went to a birthday party, and for you all that are thinking about getting married and about to get engaged, asking the parents of your spouse can be frightening experience. So it was frightening,
It was right.
as you know.
Well, just let's put that out here. If you're trying to court any of my children, girls or boys, you need to come through us first, not just even the court. Matter of fact, just to say hello, you need to say Mr. and Mrs. Bentley, or Pastor Ty and Pastor Jane, or Miss Jamela and Mr. Top. Can I tell your daughter hello?
You're gonna have to come correct.
Come correct.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to work if you don't. So I think we did this justice for our kids. I'm not sure. Did we leave anything out that you can think of?
I don't think I have anything. Do anybody out there have any questions?
If you could do this all over again, what would you do?
Do what all over again?
Do what?
I don't think I would do anything different.
You would still marry me?
I still would marry you. Would you marry me?
Of course. Some days.
Marry a guy from A&T, the best school in the land.
Some days.
Again.
I said some days I would marry you back. Maybe if you graduated from Morehouse, it would be every day. Just saying. So, YouTube subscribers, sorry, I'm tongue-tied. See, this is what he does to me. What is your first impressions of your mate? How did you guys meet? And did he or she check off all those things on your list of expectations? What do you think? What kind of questions should we ask your mate or the parents, or what kind of questions?
Or ask us.
Ask us. We're just talking about marriage and courting and how Tavan stalked me while we were in French class. So that's what we were talking about. So YouTube followers, what kind of questions should you ask? What kind of questions should you ask your potential spouse or somebody you're courting? Do you want to have children?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a criminal?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a DNA test?
What are your spiritual beliefs?
What are your spiritual? Can I see your credit score?
Yes.
Because that's important.
Yes.
What's
important to you? What's your goals?
Mm-hmm.
What's your goals?
Do you want me to be a housewife? Like I need to know that. Are you married? Have you ever been married?
Right. Is there something I should know about?
Do you have children? Do you live at home with your mom in her basement?
Mm-hmm.
Those are some good questions. Yeah. So you want to think about that. You don't want to just jump in deep, but there needs to be a lot of dialogues and talk. I mean, do you snore?
That shouldn't be a deal breaker.
It might be for some people. Do you name the books of the Bible backwards?
No.
I'm just saying, you have to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see, here is our Bennett jersey in his
A&T, Aggie Pride, class of 02,
class of 02, married in
03.
what?
Hold on.
He doesn't even know.
No, 02. 02. We got married. Yes. Same month. 02.
02.
Sorry about that. 02.
What happened in 03 that you need to tell me about?
Amani was born.
Amani was born. That's why he got it mixed up in May. So thank you.
How long did you do? Date before marriage.
Oh, so someone wants to know, one of our followers wants to know, how long did we date before we got married and how long was our engagement? So we dated for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we dated for a year, then we got engaged,
Mm-hmm.
and we were engaged for a year.
Yeah.
So our engagement was a year and 2 months.
Mm-hmm. And we could not get married until we graduated college.
Because my mom was not playing with me.
Yeah.
That was important to her.
Yeah.
So there you go. And is that a heartbreak rule? No, but that's just how it worked for us. It's a heartbreak rule for our children because they can't get married till they're like 80. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's Tavon's choice, never. All right. So thank you for joining in tonight, and remember to subscribe again.
Yeah. Hit like.
We have one. This is our last question. Did you do premarital counseling?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
We did.
With our pastor, Dad Taylor.
Yes.
Who passed away almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So yes, we did.
So, and we do recommend it. We highly recommend it.
Yes.
We highly recommend it.
Highly recommend marriage counseling.
Because
you will find out things that you weren't thinking about because you were so googly eyes in love or lust.
And it's a way that you can get counseling on your finances. You're starting out the right way. You want to definitely find out what works for you all financially.
Yes, that's true. And what works for you and a whole lot of other stuff. And what are deal breakers?
Being on one accord.
Being on one accord. So we're on one accord right now. That's why you're staring at me. All right, YouTube followers and our Facebook followers, we appreciate you joining in on the Ty and Jam show.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you again next week. And look forward to some of our guests who will be joining us in the future. We will be talking about marriage, ministry, and large families.
Yes.
That will be coming up in the month of February. And if you have a viewer choice, just send in your topics to us and we will pick from there and we will talk on that wonderful topic. Thank you so much. Until next time.
All right, peace.